who should be a part of the Thunderbolts, and who would you like to direct the film? So, in terms of the team itself, there's some people where I feel like, okay, these are obvious that they're going to be in the movie. I feel like it's obvious. Baron Zemo. I feel like, Baron Zemo, played by Daniel Bruhl, he's going to be in it, probably be in a leadership position. Already was in Captain America Civil War, recently came back in Falcon the Winter Soldier chat. Zemo's typically always been a part of multiple incarnations of the Thunderbolts, either as, the second in command or team leader. So Baron Zemo, I think, is obvious. John Walker, U.S. agent, obviously, again, introduced in Falcon Winter Soldier, played by Wyatt Russell, chat. I feel like he's an obvious choice that he'll be a part of the team as well, kind of the dark Captain America, if you will. Yelena Belova, Black Widow, played by Florence Pugh. I feel like it's a good shot. I don't know if she'll be an Avenger. Doesn't always feel like she doesn't really exactly feel like a team player a lot of the times. But I could definitely see her being a part of this team. She obviously has a connection to Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character of maybe is she Madam Hydra? I thought she was Madam Hydra. In any case, she has a relationship with her. I could see her being a part of the team as well. So there's your 3-player shed. Now after that, now we can get into okay, maybe some people they can bring into the team, into the fold. Like those 3, I am very, very confident are going to be in the Thunderbolts, no question. I would be shocked if they're not. But let's get into some other possibilities. I feel like Ghost, who was introduced in Ant-Man the Wasp, will be in a chat. I don't remember the actress's name. The character was kind of not really all that important to the movie. Very forgettable villain. But if they want to bring her back, chat, they can. Or you do something out of left field. Obviously, Thunderbolts is coming after Ant-Man the Quantumania. Ant-Man Quantumania starting Phase 5. Thunderbolts ending Phase 5. What if they do something crazy, Chad, once we go into the quantum realm again and we find Corey Stoll's character of Yellow Jacket? Because I felt like he died, but what if he actually has been stuck in the quantum realm this entire time? He's fucking crazy. And he's like, I've seen some shit. And they bring him back as Yellow Jacket. I like Corey Stoll as an actor. Yellow Jacket, very much a disposable villain. Not that he was bad in the movie, but he was like one of those villains like, there he is. But if they wanted to bring him back, maybe. So I would say, because you want you think you want representatives of, like the evil version or the dark version or the polar opposite version of the hero, right? And so, Baron Zemo, John Walker, very much kind of opposites, if you will, of a Steve Rogers type. Yelena Belova, Black Widow. Her Black Widow may be much the opposite of Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, whatever. But like Ghost or Yellow Jacket, obviously, very Ant-Man-esque. I could see either of them. Chat, coming back. Now, another one who I feel like is obvious, but we'll see what they'll do with them in She-Hulk, but Abomination. Abomination is the Hulk of your group. We recently saw Abomination in Shang-Chi in a cameo appearance. Apparently, Juan's been working with him, maybe rehabilitating him, chat, which is interesting. Never really thought that. I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. But... And he's obvious, and Tim Roth is going to be in She-Hulk as well. So I could definitely see Abomination being a part of that team. And then we're getting weird. Now we're gonna get a little weird, but it's like, okay, Scarlet Witch. I don't know if she'll be part of the Thunderbolts. Interesting if she's part of the Thunderbolts, maybe. But what if we go with her opposite or her biggest rival, Agatha Harkness? Now, we know that they're doing an Agatha Harkness Disney Plus series. It comes out before Thunderbolts, Chad. I think it's called Agatha Harkness, Coven of Chaos. What if she's kind of like your Scarlet Witch of the group? You got to have a magic user, right? She's like your Doctor Strange, your Scarlet Witch of the Thunderbolts. You bring her in. And she's like, I escaped, and now I'm now under control of the spell. It's like, I've been captured. So I could kind of see that. And then these next 2, I would love to have them there because I'm like, I don't know how you're going to bring them back, but I think it would be really, really cool. I would love to see David Harbour return as Red Guardian as a member of the Thunderbolts. One, I think it would be really great to have his interactions with Florence Pugh's Yelena Belova, with her Black Widow. Black Widow had a number of problems, but, one of my favorite things about it was David Harbour in the film as Red Guardian. I thought he was great. And yeah, I think that would be a great way to bring him back in the fold in Marvel. And then you'd have that relationship between him and Black Widow. Between him and Florence Pugh's Black Widow. So you have that nice little wholesome, a number of wholesome moments. Nice back and forth. I love their scene together in that film. And there are various other scenes too. And then this one, I doubt it, but I feel it could be really, really cool. And you'd have to ask Sony's permission because Sony doesn't know what the fuck to do with this character. I have no idea what they're doing with this character in the Sony films. I would love it if they bring in the Vulture. I think it would be so cool to get Michael Keaton's Vulture as a member of the Thunderbolts. So he's not a member of the Sinister Six, chat, which I mean, Sony's going to will that into existence, and it's probably not going to be good. But if you want to put the Vulture in a cool super villain superhero team, I think it would be great to have him as the last member of the team as a big surprise. And he's kind of like your Iron Man-esque character, if you will. That's who I would want, yeah. That's my team. So Baron Zemo, John Walker, U.S. Agent, Yelena Belova, Black Widow, Ghost or Yellow Jacket, Abomination, Agatha Harkness, Red Guardian, and Vulture. Those are the people I'd love to see in the Thunderbolts. What about you, Chad? What about you? Who are your choices? And I want to go into directors. They actually already picked a director, Chad, in case you don't know. Jake Schreier was already picked to be the director of Thunderbolts, and I believe he's probably best known for directing a Frank Langella movie called Frank and the Robot, I think. Outside of that, I'm not too sure what else he's done. Let me see what else you guys are saying. Although, again, not sure if he's the right fit for Marvel, but curious, what are your thoughts on Leigh Whannell? I love Leigh Whannell. Upgrade is always close to cracking my top 10 list. I love this take on his man. I agree with you, Little Gun. No, Leigh Whannell, I had not considered Leigh Whannell. That would be really, really interesting to see him direct a Marvel movie. God, like to do an Avengers film? Not sure. I would definitely want to see him do maybe something a little smaller in the Marvel universe. Maybe Thunderbolts was not too bad. You know, dealing with these kind of detestable people and put them through the ringer. He'd be an interesting choice. I wouldn't mind that at all, Loading Gun. That's very good. That's very good, because I think, Upgrade was the superior Venom movie, and I loved his take on the Invisible Man. It was simple but very original. It had a great message and great themes in it too. Some great sequences as well. I like that. I like that a lot. Invisible Man was my last movie I saw in the theater before the pandemic hit. It was a good theater experience. Where else is still waiting for a call? I hope they call him soon. Bring Bulls and the Thunderbolts. And that's the thing is that they could be doing, hey, we could get Thunderbolts 2, Thunderbolts 3. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen. You can get additional members of the team. Let's see here. You think Agatha that the Agatha show? Because it's crazy that there are so many people out there that are like really shitting on the Agatha Harkness show. I thought people really liked her. Am I in the minority? Because I'm seeing like all these memes of people like shitting on Catherine Hahn. I thought she was great in WandaVision. You know, it's Agatha all along. I thought that song was so cool. But I do think the show's gonna be good. I really liked WandaVision. I feel like maybe it started a little slow, but once we get like into episode 3 on, I was like, oh, here we fucking go. Yeah, I do. I want Dommy Mommy Wanda back. You might get her. I was say since doing Daredevil series, bring Bullseye into Thunderbolts. Yeah, I mean, if they do incorporate Bullseye into the Daredevil series, sure, we can see that. He might be a part of it. Oh, Mordo. Bill Gates says Vulture. I forgot about Mordo. Everyone forgot about Mordo. What the fuck has he been doing? Where is he? Because the Mordo in Doctor Strange was not our Mordo in the MCU proper chat. So that guy's still, I don't know what the hell he's been doing. Like that could happen to Emil Mosky as a villain for hire in the comics. Yeah, true. Yeah, Mordo. People throwing out Mordo. Red Hulk was my thought as a way to bring Betty back. I also do like a female Red Hulk as with Betty Brant. Yeah, get Tim Blake Nelson return as lead. I think so. Yeah, I think he'd have him return. It'd be cool. Maybe he's the villain of Thunderbolts. That'd be interesting. Yeah, Red Hulk. A lot of people want Red Hulk. I'm not a big Red Hulk fan. To be honest, I'm not a big Red Hulk fan. I know that like Thunderbolt Ross was the Red Hulk, but you know, obviously, what's his name? William Hurt passed away. Great Little Villains. It is. Thank you. He did Paper Town of Cara Delevingne. I can't say her name. And the kid for Death Note. Gotcha. I don't think Lay's interesting. Big budget stuff. Baron. A lot of people saying Baron Odom. Casey, sorry, chat. I'm getting my allergies are acting up. My nose. I love it. Great too. Joe Carnahan for Thunderbolts. I could see him as a possible director. I'm gonna go into my choices for director in just a bit. Great choice, Chris. I'd actually add people love the Red Hulk. People love Red Hulk. I'm just not a big Red Hulk guy. That's just me. Director Thunderbolts is the guy who did Paper Town. All right, gotcha. What about Mike Coulter as Luke Cage? I'm not a big Mike Coulter fan. I did not like his Luke Cage. I just thought he had I didn't think he had any charisma in the role. There's something about him. It wasn't clicking with me. It really wasn't clicking with me. Yo, Banana Bucket, good to see you. Little pot emo boy. I love it. You think Source will be a member since they did introduce him to Hawkeye? They could bring him in. That's true. I loved her as Agatha as well. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be good too. Great. Yeah. It's weird. I haven't seen the memes, but that's weird. Yeah, I've seen like on the DT Facebook page that there's this Better Call Saul meme where it's trash. Oh, that's just trash right there. It says the Agatha logo, and I was like, why? I don't know. I don't know. People have even asked me in the chat like a few times, like, what about that bullshit Agatha show? I'm like, is there something I'm not aware of? It's weird. I'm looking forward to it. The Morgan Orwell was supposed to die multiverse as, but they cut the scenes out. Oh shit. I didn't know that. Dex, you must be exhausted, especially after doing it 24. Oh, I did 12 hours. I have to say, I would probably never do a 24-hour stream. I think that's just too much. That's too much. I couldn't do that. 12 hours, I can do 12 hours, and I'd be like, all right, I need to sleep now. But 24 would be way too much. What about Luke Cage in it, but a new actor? Who would you cast? God, I have to think about that one. That one would take some time. But yeah, I was not a fan of Mike Coulter. I love Luke Cage as a character. I love the comics, especially him and the dynamic he has with Iron Fist. I loved, when Brian Michael Bendis was writing, obviously Jessica Jones, he had that famous Jessica Jones one, which was adapted to the first season of the show. The Purple Man with Kilgrave. And I love how Luke Cage in his new Avengers run. I don't think Mike Coulter captured that charisma of that character. It wasn't on display for me at all. How about Joe Cornish in the director's chair? I could see that, maybe. He wasn't one of my choices. I'm going to go with my choice in just a bit, but I could see that. Like, Mike Coulter wouldn't work bringing him back since they were doing Blade. I like Mike. The thing is, like, I don't care. My whole thing about, like, I know that there's some people out there to, like, I'm really bothered by the fact that Mahershala Ali played Cottonmouth, but now he's going to be doing normal. I don't care. He dies in episode 4. You know what? There was a huge mistake to kill him, by the way, too. They shouldn't have done that. When Cottonmouth died, the show died, in my opinion. It's like, and they replaced him with Diamondback, who was ridiculous in that series. I'm not bothered by that at all. I was like, that's fine. They look like each other, whatever. That's why my whole thing is, like, if they wanted to go ahead and just fucking do it and cast Mads Mikkelsen as Dr. Doom, I'd be like, I'm totally okay with that. There'll be people that be like, but he was Caecilius. No one even remembers his name. I'm the only person on the planet who remembers the villain in Doctor Strange. I remember his name was Caecilius, chat. No one else does, okay? No one, I would not, people would complain, but it's like, who cares? It doesn't matter. So I don't mind if it's fine. I personally would recast Luke Cage, but, because I just didn't feel like he did a good job in the role. That's just me. Now, I wouldn't mind. Now, Luke Cage has led some versions of the Thunderbolts. That's true. If you want to bring him back, be a part of that, I would love to see him as part of the Avengers, but we'll see. We'll see. But in terms of my team, Baron Zemo, John Walker / U.S. Agent, Yelena Belova / Black Widow, Ghost or Yellow Jacket, Abomination, Agatha Harkness, Red Guardian, Vulture. That would be my team. A team of 7 or 8 people, chat. I think that could work. I think that could work pretty well. Now, the director that is attached to the movie is Jake Schreier, chat. This is kind of Marvel's thing, picking up these indie directors and putting them on these huge blockbusters. He's done, I guess he has done some genre stuff too, and, he's probably best known for, directing the Frank Langella film, Frank and the Robot. And I guess he did the other thing with the girl's name I can't pronounce. Cara Delevingne. But if I had other choices, now you could go with a safe choice here. You can go with a safe choice here because this guy has experience of doing dysfunctional superhero teams, which the Thunderbolts is a dysfunctional superhero team. It's a bunch of fucking villains with huge egos, Shatter. Villains are anti-heroes of huge egos and just butting heads constantly. And the person who probably has showcased their abilities of directing those types of movies is James Gunn. Obviously, James Gunn did all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's also doing the holiday special, of course. And he most recently did the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Now, it's a safe choice. It's an obvious choice. I feel like even James Gunn has said, though, he's going to be taking a break after Guardians. I think he's going to concentrate on Peacemaker, and then maybe he'll probably start doing some more original stuff after that. Season 2, that is. And who knows what he'll do in the future. But if unless he changes his mind, and he's been reaccepted in the Disney family after his unjustified firing, in my personal opinion, I don't think they should have fired him in the first place. Completely, the changed the place of when Guardians 3 was supposed to come out. It was supposed to come out in Phase 4, but now it's in Phase 5. In any case, glad he's back. But if they want to, if they want to go with someone safe, I think James Gunn is the safe choice. Much like he's much like the Ryan Coogler. It's like, well, let's look at the people we already have. I think that'd be great. James Gunn, I think, would do a great job with Thunderbolts. Now, looking outside Marvel, but still a part of Disney, I think it would be really cool if they got Tony or Dan Gilroy, chat. Now, Tony Gilroy is probably, he's worked on a number of movies for quite some time. He's also looked at one of the guys who, I believe, saved Rogue One, after all the behind-the-scenes nonsense was going on. And I think Tony Gilroy's also, he's the guy who's doing the Cassian Andor series, which is coming out later, this August, chap? So I think they're doing that right now. And so you want to go ahead and look at someone, because he just finished Cassian. I want to bring him in, do a Thunderbolts movie. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Especially because, Cassian Andor, I love that character. I think Cassian Andor is one of the best new Star Wars characters that we've gotten in quite some time, certainly in the Disney era. Because he showed the darker side of the rebellion. He's the one that does the nasty, underhanded Black Ops work. The rebellion's like, we're freedom fighters and we're here to save the galaxy. But sometimes you got to fucking murder some people. Sometimes you have to assassinate some people, and you got to get your hands dirty. And that's what the Cassian Andor character was. And I really like that. And sometimes you need like a team like the Thunderbolts who's like, yeah, the Avengers are great and everything. But sometimes some fuckers just need to die, and they need to die quietly, and no one needs to know what happened. And I feel like he would be or his brother, or Dan Gilroy, would do a great job of doing it. I think Dan Gilroy he was the director of Nightcrawler, which was one of my favorite movies in the 20s. I love, you guys, not Nightcrawler, Kurt Wagner from the X-Men, Nightcrawler with creepy ass Jake Gyllenhaal, who's basically a paparazzi. It's an excellent movie, and he's a detestable character, but that's who you need. Some of these people in the Thunderbolts, that's one I have a concern with the Thunderbolts movie, that they're going to make them too heroic. But some of these guys are sons of bitches. Some of these guys are assholes and not redeemable, chat. You should keep them as villains, because that's what they are, through and through. Some are more honorable than others, but some are absolute fucking scumbags. But I feel like either of them could handle that material well. Now, my last two people, it was brought up earlier, Adam Wingard. I love the guy. He's done some great movies, some great genre films. Like, to me, the only bad movie he's ever done was Death Note, okay? And he will get shit for that forever. But it's like, fucking, he gave us You're Next, which is a great kind of deconstructive slasher movie. The Guest is one of the best thrillers from the 2010s. I love Blair Witch. I don't care. I think that's the best Blair Witch movie. I think it's a fine found footage film. Things fucking actually happen in it, chat. And he most recently did Godzilla versus Kong. He's doing God versus Kong too. So I think he would make a great choice. And then the last person, who has a movie coming out very, very soon, chat, and that is Dan Trachtenberg, who is probably most famous for directing 10 Cloverfield Lane. That was his last theatrical film, like in 2016. And since that time, he's done like a lot of television. I feel like he's almost been like honing his craft, and he's been doing all these television shows. I know he did some of The Boys episodes as well. He did a lot of those. He directed some of those. But most recently, his next film is going to be Prey, the Predator sequel prequel. Now, again, this is all first reactions, and first reactions are usually always more positive than the actual reviews, but it's been very positive so far. People are saying like, yep, it's the best Predator movie since the original. I feel like the Predator franchise has definitely had more good sequels than bad. Predator 2, I think, is fine. It's a straight up, low matinee. It's solid. Has some issues. I think Predators is really underrated. Really, probably the only of the standalone Predator films, the only truly awful Predator movie is The Predator, Chad. That's the worst one, the most recent one. But Prey, people are saying like it's actually really good. And the thing that I keep hearing consistently, and it's not like from one person or two people, it's like everyone's been saying this, is that the movie keeps things very, very simple. It's very straightforward. and it has some really incredible action sequences, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, all that stuff. But it's simply, the story is a girl and her dog, and they're fighting a predator. And sometimes simple is better. And they're saying that the setting makes it stand out and makes it unique compared to the other Predator films. I'm like, I'm hearing everything I fucking want to hear. It's like, yes. And so if you want to go with a guy who has indulged in genre filmmaking, but can also do really cool tension, look at Dan Trachtenberg, Chad. Look what Dan Trachtenberg did with 10 Cloverfield Lane, which I love that movie. That's probably, if I had to do a top 20 list from the 2010s, 10 Cloverfield Lane would be my top 20 movies of the decade. I love that film, probably more than most people. But the tension that you feel between John Goodman and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and John Gallagher, that's mostly the movie's focused on the three of them for most of them, except for like the last 10 minutes, but most of the movie's on them, is great. And if he can capture some of that between these villains in a Thunderbolts movie, perfect. That's what I want. So those would be my choices. I feel like James Gunn is the obvious safe choice. He would handle the material very well, but Tony or Dan Gilroy can do it. They've had experience with, showcasing, not the most savory of characters, but still making them really interesting and fun to follow. Adam Wingard, clearly talented in all sorts of genres: horror, science fiction, action, kaiju. And Dan Trachtenberg, who I think is a real rising talent, chat, in the industry, who seems to have been taking his time and honing his craft. And, I think with Prey, I'm hoping that with Prey, people will be like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Because they might have forgotten about him when he did 10 Cloverfield Lane. But I haven't forgotten, chat. Those are my choices.